recording. Hey guys.
Hello.
Yes, today we are here, or at least I am here, with my friend Jonah. He has a YouTube channel. I'm not supposed to know that he has it though. So yeah. Anyway, we are here to discuss, because in 2 weeks' time the new ban list will be out, the next possible predictions for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list, because I'm bored and don't really have much else to do.
That is awesome.
Yes. So, Joe, you and I have been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For way too damn long. I've been playing since Metal Raiders. You came out while you
I
were
started
playing.
playing Enemy of Justice. No, what was first, Shadow or Enemy?
I think Shadow Infinity was first, because Treeborn Frog, I'm pretty sure, came out before Phoenix Enforcer.
Okay, then in that case, I started playing Shadow because Shadow came out and I packed my first ulti was a Treeborn Frog.
Ah, yes. And hence, Treeborn Frog remained limited for freaking ever. Sadness.
Yeah, there was sadness to be had by all.
Well, anyway, recently, in current ban list speculations, there have been a few fake lists floating around. One of the most trolly moments that I've seen, however, was the pseudo confirmation that Goyo is going from banned to limited. What do you think about that, Mr. Joe?
I would have loved that, but well, it has no effect on me personally because I don't think it's going to change many people. All it's going to do is make Synchro decks a little bit more powerful. Or at least
True.
synchro decks that can bring out six, because six used to be the preferred star level to go into synchro wise, but the top decks now aren't really running tuners except for mermails.
And the only tuner that Mermails are bothering to run is Diva.
So it's like that's not really that big of a deal. All the synchros could come back a little bit except for Brio, that would be retarded.
Yes, Brile coming back right now would break the entire game. Mermails would literally become the strongest deck in the format. However, a lot of people have also, of all the fake lists that I've seen so far, have put Ultimate Offering as banned. How about that, Mr. Jonah?
I Are you asking my what I think personally or what I
Yes, I
think of
am.
that?
This is a predictions list and then also an opinions list, so.
Okay, predictions, I agree with it. Opinions, I also agree with it, and I think it's good for the game.
Now, I really don't agree with it, because there are a lot of really easy ways to abuse offering, specifically gadgets. But I like Ultimate Offering. I know it's not healthy to have for the game when offering gadgets are still topping all over the damn place in the OCG, except I don't know if that's true or not. But I like Ultimate Offering because outside of offering gadgets, it gives stuff that needs the extra normal summon every once in a while a better fighting chance. The
Yes,
problem
but it
is the
also
ban list
gives things
reflects the
that
meta, so
it gives things that don't need the fighting chance more of a fighting chance.
right. Now, a lot of speculation that I've seen around the net is that Sangan might finally get banned. How
I
about
would
you?
love that.
I really don't want Sangan gone. I know I sound horrible saying that, because Sangan is clearly one of the most powerful cards in the game right now, but I really don't want him gone because he's been around for so goddamn long. I just don't know what we'd do without him.
I think people need to stop getting. Okay, let me rephrase that. I do not like these cards that everybody just can't imagine any deck without. I do not like them.
Well, there are decks that don't really run Sangan. I mean, Mermails can go without it easily. Windups can
Well,
easily go without it if they really want to.
first of all, it weakens tour guide to the point where you don't need to limit tour guide because I would hate that. Second of all, I just I mean I'm trying to think of the Sangan fits in that category with Sangan, Black Hole, Monster Reborn, not so much Solemn Judgment because that has a purpose, but these cards that just every deck or 99% of played decks main one, and it's like, no, let's have a little bit of originality here, but we can't because then we're going to lose because somebody has a better card.
I will give you that. Sangan's splashability is insane. But the same thing is said about Witch, and there have been no speculations about Witch coming back, which is a godsend. I don't want Witch back. Oh
Which won't come
god, the
back because
boss
of something
monsters.
called Dad.
Telly Dad would easily come back if Witch came back. It's which is
Which
bad for the game. All right,
I don't mind Telly Dad coming back as a competitive deck, but I don't want it coming back as a trounce all over all the things deck.
right. It would take quite a bit for Teledad to come back though, because it needs some serious support if it's going to outspeed windups or mermails.
Dark Arm to 3?
No, Dark Arm to 2 is something I could see. All right, I don't want that at all, but I could see it, but not Dark Arm to 3.
I wouldn't mind Dark Arm to 2,
I
but
would mind it, but I could see it happening. So let's see. The
also
big
on that same
card that
subject,
everybody's
I wouldn't.
pushing to get banned, but I've only seen it a few times, is BLS,
I want that
specifically
banned.
Envoy.
I've been hearing about Monster Reborn getting banned too.
Monster Reborn has been on a few lists that I've seen, and as has BLS, but I don't think I've ever seen them on the same damn list, at least for current prediction lists.
I,
And personally, I would rather have BLS gone than Monster Reborn, but I'd most certainly love having them both gone.
I want them both gone.
I
Monster.
do want
I
them
wouldn't
both
mind Dark
gone, but I
Hole
want
being gone.
BLS gone far more than I want Monster Reborn gone.
I want them gone pretty much equally.
But do you think it would actually happen?
I'm going to call it right now based on the way that I've been seeing the ban lists go lately. I'd see Monster Reborn getting banned before BLS.
As do I. Monster Reborn has got a lot more uses than BLS does currently. Now, one of the things that's been going around that everyone seems to dislike is Shockmaster. Shockmaster is really easy to get a hold of right now, and if you know what the fuck you're doing and you can read what a deck your opponent's playing, Shockmaster alone can win you the game. As such, a lot of people have been calling for Shockmaster to go to banned.
I actually agree with that. I think the card gives too much of an advantage to people who happen to have it and happen to be able to bring it out easily and happen, this is the key part why I want it banned, happen to know their opponent's deck too well. And I
Yeah,
don't think knowing your opponent's deck too well should give you that much of an advantage like that card does.
yes, Shockmaster. Shockmaster, if you read your opponent's deck correctly, Shockmaster will win you the game. That being
Unless their deck
said,
happens to be
I'm horrible at this
extraordinarily
game.
balanced.
I'm horrible at this game, and I don't ever actually, try and go into Shockmaster that often. I play online. I don't actually own a Shockmaster. I don't care. But, well, partially I play
I,
Mega Band, so there's never really a way for me to go into Shockmaster. Still, the whole reason I don't go into Shockmaster is because even after I've successfully read my opponent's deck, I really almost never had the resources to go into it. And even then, the whole reason I don't want Shockmaster banned is because I could see it going at 1 and being fine.
no, because I can't see anybody running more than one anyway.
That is a point, except for offering gadgets. Offering gadgets run 3 Shockmaster and just wreck face with him. It's actually pretty amazing what you can do with 9 gadgets, dude. All right,
Yeah,
so
but what about all the decks that run just one? That's where most of the issue is.
I don't know. I want to say that most of the issue comes from Shockmaster at 2, really, because then you get to disable both spells and monster effects.
But anyway, we agree Shockmaster should be hit in some form. I want to see it banned, but that's just because I don't see. I mean, limiting it would not affect me in the least, because I would never run more than one in any deck that I can think of.
Right.
So,
All right.
but
Now, for stuff that is currently on the limited list, we got Tsukiyomi, which is the buzz card that a lot of people have been throwing around for the past fucking 3 formats. Show really wants to see Tsukiyomi come back, although prophecies are pretty much guaranteeing that it won't. What do you think, Joe?
I don't remember that card's effect by heart, but from I remember thinking solidly that it wouldn't come back, so I'm going to stay consistent with that because I must have had a good reason.
Okay, the whole reason that Tsukiyomi's been gone for so long is because it kills bosses all on its own. But that's what I really like about Tsukiyomi. She's a reusable Book of Moon, and I will say this: that if Book of Moon goes up to 3, I could see Tsukiyomi coming back up. However, until Book of Moon goes to 3, I don't see Tsukiyomi coming back, which is sad
I
because I
don't
like
see Book of
Tsukiyomi
Moon
way
going
more
to
than Book of
3.
Moon. Which actually brings us to Book of Moon. A lot of people are saying that it might actually go to 2, which is something I could see happening, but I don't know. I even saw one particular list that said book was going to 3, and I was like, probably not straight from 1 to 3. How about you, Joe?
Well, it did go from 3 to 1 out of nowhere.
It went from 3 to 1 out of nowhere, but we're still debating on as to why that happens. If you flip an
I
Xyz
don't
monster
know
face
why.
down, it
I
still
think it
keeps
was a
its.
delayed reaction to something.
It may have been a delayed reaction to something, but I don't know. The prominent theory at the time was that if you book an Xyz monster, the Xyz monster loses its Xyz materials. But that's not the case. Xyz monsters keep their Xyz materials while they're face down.
Well, I guess you'd really have to ask who's in charge of the ban list to know what they were thinking.
Yeah, and I'm
But
not close friends with Satoshi, so. Okay. Going back to band, actually, there have been several lists that I've seen that have put Gateway of the Six Samurai as banned. Personally,
I,
I'd be okay with this. I really would, because I hate Gateway. I really do. I have the same problem with Gateway that I had with Factory, except it's even more powerful.
well, Gateway's always been powerful. There's no, yes, it's really powerful, but are Six Sams even seeing play?
Yes, Six Sams are still seeing play, because you forget, dude, we just got a structure deck for them, Samurai Warlords, and they got
What
an
I don't,
Xyz monster. Not
I
that they
don't
use it, but they
get it.
got one.
What are they trying to like? Is there this like dedicated group of people that just want Six Sams dead?
No, although there are quite a few people that want Gateway gone.
I don't see why.
You
If
know how
Gateway goes
Wind Up
away, the
Factory after the
factory
first
has to
turn
go
gives you
away,
free
and Launcher
cards?
has to go away.
Joe, you know how after the first turn Wind Up Factory nets you free cards?
Yeah.
Gateway does it on the first turn you play it. If you turn one Gateway, according to the few people that I have talked to about this, is one of the hardest plays to come back from. Simply because if they turn one Gateway, you have a single turn to get both Gateway off the field and clear their swarm.
True.
Mm.
But and if that's the case, then they should kill the OTKs for all the decks.
Well, believe it or not, a lot of people are trying to put a lot of people since OTKs have been around have been pushing, hey, this shit is busted, get the fuck rid of it. But
Yeah,
Konami
but then
very
the
rarely
list
ever
would
actually
get
hits
twice as
the
big.
OT. What, Joe?
It's the list would get twice as big then if we were trying to get rid of all the OTKs, and the deck wouldn't be as fun. Or not the deck, the game. What am I talking about?
True. Mainly because a lot of OTKs that are incredibly consistent use a bunch of the same cards, and the few OTKs that are not that consistent tend to use very off the wall cards. For example, Joe, you got a taste of what my Cosmic Compass build can do, right?
Yeah,
I
though
love
I
Cosmic Compass because it enables so much shit.
give me some credit here though. When I was dueling that, I was literally 3/4 asleep.
Yes,
My
for
deck
that to
was
attack me multiple times, let me go all the way out, and then tried to solemn me.
yeah. I was half. No, I was less than half there. I really was. I shouldn't have done as good as I did.
Probably.
I was like,
I had to keep reminding
what?
you about Rabbit.
Rabbit. Wait, are we talking about Rescue Rabbit?
Yeah.
What
Well,
about
not
that?
Rescue Rabbit, but Wind Up Rabbit. But speaking of our little helmeted little beastie little rabbit friend, Little Rabbit has
Yeah,
actually been rumored to be going to 1.
that's pointless.
In all
Rabbit can play
actuality,
it
I
too.
don't see it as pointless because it does hurt the consistency of rescue builds, but I don't think that it's actually, that big of a deal.
It isn't right now. At least not in my opinion. Not unless somebody out there's found some really busted way to run that stuff at 2 and is just like spamming the crap out of it.
Well, ill swarms, but
Because I mean, we've got to wonder, what is the purpose of the list? Why release a card and then say it can't be used at the number that the rules allow for? And obviously the answer is because it makes the game not fun.
Right.
Because the whole point is to make the game fun.
Hmm.
And I don't see limiting it as making the game any funner for anybody.
Right.
Yes, I took a very literal approach to this.
Mm. So, your thoughts? Keep Rabbit at 2, just to see what
I
happens.
wouldn't even mind Rabbit going back to 3. I know it's
I
not going to
I
happen,
can't agree with that actually. I can abuse Rabbit at 3 real easy.
but 2 is fine.
2 at the moment
There's
I
much
think is
more
fine.
busted things out there that could go down than Rescue Rabbit.
Give me 1 second, please. I shall return. And sorry, had to close the door. We're back.
You were actually 1 second late.
Yes, or more than that. But next, Jonah's gonna hate me for bringing this up, but Factory, Wind Up Factory in particular.
Yeah, we got to talk about wind-ups because everybody wants them to be hit.
Well, here's the thing, Joe. Factory is broken, just legitimately broken.
I agree with that. However, I don't think that it's responsible to hit Factory and Magician and Zenmaity. That's 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 pretty much saying that wind-ups are the most powerful deck in the format.
And right now they are.
I thought that was Mermails.
No, windups have got the best control scheme in the format. If you know what the hell you're doing with windups, there shouldn't ever be a loss on your record. I know this because Dark Blaze went against every single different type of deck in this format, including windups, and still won. And he was using a more control-oriented version of the windup build.
What makes it more control-oriented? Just out of curiosity.
Ixie's engine. It pretty much has unlimited materials thanks to both Factory, Rabbit, and Rat.
And Magician. Magician's nice too.
Magician allows you to swarm into this shit. Rat makes it so that you're guaranteed to have this stuff when you want.
I think that if they really want to hit wind-ups, don't... they could really severely injure wind-ups by hitting Shark to 1 or 2.
Yes, but that really, really hurts Shark and just Shark. If you hit Factory to 1, you hurt the entire deck, which is, potentially a
Well,
good thing. If you hit
uh,
Magician to 1 or 2, I'm personally advocating 2, then you hurt the entire deck. But if you hit Shark to 1, all you're really doing is hurting Shark.
well, yeah, but what's your target for all your summons and add to your hands and all that?
Soldier, Dog, Kitten, Bat.
For me, it tends to be Shark. Well, actually, for me, it tends to depend on what point of the game I'm at, but
Yeah, like
it'll be Shark at
early
the
game you love going for a double or triple Shark if you can.
and then those get into the graveyard, and then I recycle them with Rat. They can't even make it to the graveyard in the first place if they're limited.
Indeed. Yeah, but there are many different ways to recycle those sharks, not just with Rat. You also have a Bat that can do it, and I think Bat's it.
But
Mm.
anyway, if you're asking my opinion as far as what to do about windups, I say semi-limit, Factory, Magician, and bring back Zenmaity to 2.
Ooh, I don't know. That'll probably bring back Hunter all the way.
Because I'll tell you one thing, I just don't think windups are as busted as people think. I know they're really fucking good. Pardon my language. But they're really, if you know what you're doing against them, you should be safe.
True. Like for example, if you know your opponent's about to explode and explode big, Max C is one of the best cards that you can use. That and Valor. Problem is,
Or
unless you're running Chaos, Valor and Max C are starting to see less play.
If the proper side deck against windups will just shut them right down too.
In particular, goes in rivalry.
Or some select removals.
True. My personal favorite that I've yet to try out is summon limit. I would love to see how much rage I'd get out of you if I summon limit after you double shark.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is I like the deck because it means that people can still win, but they have to think about it before they do it. They can't just use their deck and win. They actually have to think, and I like things that provoke people into thinking.
Mm.
Now, anyway, there's more cards.
Yes, there are. For example, emergency call was something that I saw on the list. Now currently is at 2, and I think people are asking it to go to 1.
Which one?
Emergency call.
I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind that,
As
but
far as I'm concerned, frickin' E-Heroes, dude, are the most underplayed powerful deck ever.
well, they're not really underplayed is the problem. Believe it or not, Sho, Newman, and a bunch of other guys around XC just love their E-Heroes all over the place.
They're
And
really good.
yes, mainly because Alias is a Gemini monster and it breaks everything.
But let, let, let's put it this way. There's so many different variants of E-Heroes to run. I want to see something that kills the stuff that's really busted without really killing E-Heroes in general, because they are a fun build. I like that they use fusions, because fusions are pretty much obsolete at this point, with the exception of for them and Glad Beast, I guess, too.
Yeah, but Glad Beasts don't really count. You see, their fusion has always been fucking busted. God damn it, Geyserus.
Yeah.
Speaking of Geyserus, by the way, I don't want to see Ecall go down to 1. I'm fine with it being at 2, but that's my opinion. Joe wants it at 1. Bestiari, the enabler for Geyserus, is said to be going to 2 at some point.
I was just thinking, wouldn't it be awesome if it was banned? Glad Beasts have been way too consistent for way too frickin' long.
Yes, they're everyone's starter format deck. Not mine, because my starter format deck is like, oh, shit, something of mine went from unlimited to 2. I guess I can't run that anymore.
Well, the way I think about it, I guess, is everybody who's been running a Glad Beast deck has probably been running it since forever ago. And it's like, all right, let's get these people into a different groove here. Because the same people that have been playing Glad Beasts have been playing them as long as I've been playing the freaking game, practically.
Not quite. They were playing Glad Beasts after you came in. Remember, Glad Beasts didn't happen until Gladiator's Assault, which didn't happen until just before Light of Destruction.
It's just, I don't know. I'm sick of seeing Glad Beasts.
Mm.
I know I shouldn't be biased against one deck, but it's like Glad Beasts and Gravekeepers. I don't mind anything that hits them.
Speaking of Gravekeepers and your bias, Joe and I already touched on this outside of the video, but Royal Tribute was rumored to come back to 3.
No.
Now, I have to agree with Jonah. Royal Tribute at 3 is a bad thing. At the same time, I don't really see what it could hurt to do, as Necro Valley doesn't shut anything down anymore.
Necro Valley doesn't shut anything down anymore, but I'm telling you what, I've had too many first turn frickin' Royal Tributes kill my whole game.
True, except now, instead of killing a first turn Royal Tribute is more than likely going to backfire on you at the moment. Mainly because, oh look, you sent all 5 of my water monsters in my hand to the graveyard. I top deck Molan Glacia. I'm going to win now, thank you.
Well, yeah, that's for mermails.
And Dark World say, oh, you just gave me all of the pluses. But generally speaking, I'm okay with Tribute at 2. I could see it coming to 3, but like Joe said, it would not be a good thing. However, since I did bring up Dark Worlds, a lot of people have been hating on Drag Down into the Grave.
I don't remember what that does, honestly.
This is because you don't actually play competitively enough to know that Dark Worlds are still a thing. Drag Down into the Grave is an immensely powerful spell card in Dark Worlds because what happens is they set their hand of spell and traps first turn, then they play Drag Down into the Grave. They get to see your hand, and you get to see what's left of theirs. They pick a card out of your hand and send it to the grave. Then you pick a card out of their hand and send it to the grave, which, if it's a Dark World monster, is just going to get special summoned. And then you each draw a card.
Yeah, Dark Worlds are hard to, from what I'm seeing, are really hard to counter. Well,
No,
not really
I
hard,
don't
but
think so. I personally think that everyone needs to buckle the hell down and get themselves Soul Drain and Consecrated Light. Those are your side cards for Dark Worlds, because then they are no longer a deck. As long as you hold Consecrated Light on the field, they can't do anything. And because of the way that their decks tend to work, Soul Drain will shut the rest of their abilities down.
just since we're on this topic, I think Consecrated Light should be reprinted.
You know what? Yes, I do believe the Consecrated Light should be reprinted, but not right now.
Just because that the card has such an important purpose in the game.
And
It's
yet
like,
nobody has it.
yes, because it was a super short print in Absolute Power Force.
Hmm.
Trying to get one even when it came out was a bitch.
Yes, and yet I managed to get 3.
Well, yeah, but we both went through that pack.
Yes, I managed to get 3 Concentrated Light, but only a single Vosky. But that's a topic for another time. Um, we already discussed Goyo. I'm trying to think of what other main things. Well, how about I just go into see what I want to happen on this list that I haven't really seen yet?
Well, you haven't hit anything as far as Unlimited goes.
Well, yes, and there is a particular card that's rumored to go unlimited that 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 was rumored.
You could say
Scapegoat.
it.
God, Scapegoat jumping from 1 to 3 in a single list is not something I can see happening.
I don't see it happening, but I do think it would add a very interesting dynamic to the game.
Yes. Oh, look, now I have all of the defensive monsters.
I love stalling, you know that.
Yes, and I love my old school stall
If
and burn
Scapegoat
deck.
was at 3, I would build a competitive stall deck.
Well, believe it or not, that's a lot easier than you think, especially with Token Stampede.
Are you kidding me? I know that's easy. Stall is my thing. Piss off your opponent so much that they can't think straight.
And then they quit the duel because it's like, this isn't worth it. This just isn't worth it. And that's almost how Jonah went 4-0 in a tournament once.
Actually, that is how I went 4-0 in a tournament once.
Oh, God.
Because people are not willing to draw out a duel. Even if they know they're going to win, they're still like, this is just not worth it. You can win. And then I'm like, well, thank you, because I had nothing in my hand. I was just hiding behind the Spirit Reaper.
Speaking of, I know that Spirit Reaper at 3 and Marshmallow at 3 is some of my favorite shit right now. But
I love it.
there's rumor. Well, first of all, I really don't think Scapegoat at 3 would be healthy. I would love to see it, but I don't think it would be healthy. But another card that I don't think would be healthy, but I would love to see, Ceasefire is rumored to go to 2.
That would be scary.
It would be very scary, and I will hate Konami for doing it if they do, but God, I would love to see that. And with Cylinder at 2 right now, Ceasefire at 2, Dimension Wall at 3, come at me, bro. I dare you.
I wouldn't mind Ceasefire at 2. However, that's a tough call.
I do mind Ceasefire at 2. Maximum damage for a single Ceasefire is 5k, okay? Mind you, if you ever hit someone for maximum damage with ceasefire, you automatically get a gold star, dude. There's because it's damn near impossible.
I I guess my thought on that is ceasefire should stay at 1, just because you can throw 2 ceasefires into any deck right now, and you've got no TK.
Um, I
And
don't know about no TK.
well, think about it. The decks that you have, okay, wind-ups. Before they go into their Ixies, they have a ton of monsters out.
True.
As far as what I know about Mermails, they're the same way. As far as what I know about Dark Worlds, they're the same way.
Actually, no. Dark Worlds and Mermails have a very, very low monster presence. Believe it or not, most Mermail games end have the halfway to the end point with just Megalo on the field. Mind you, variants, specifically the Mermalantian build, which is so awesome, can easily have three to five monsters on the field in a single turn, but they usually don't, mainly because saving their resources for when they need to explode is just a bit better that way.
But it just, well, either you've OTK'd them or they're lifeless now.
Yes. Oh,
Or
look,
you
I
didn't
hit you
do
with
it
2
right.
ceasefires. You got a Solemn Warning and a Judgment left.
That you can only use one of. You
Well, no,
might be
you can
able to
still
use
use
both,
them
but
both,
that
but
would
you
be
got to use
stupid.
Warning first. Nah, Jonah
No,
hates it when I ceasefire into double magical cylinders.
it's, I don't know, bad thought.
Uh, but that pretty much covers it for the predictions that I've seen that I really wanted to cover. We're getting like really extended on time here, and I'm hoping that this is in depth enough. But there are a few things that I've been seeing, and I kind of want to see happen on this list.
Dark Hole Band.
Of course, I want Dark Hole banned. I want Dark Hole, BLS, and not Heavy Storm, but Monster Reborn all gone. Heavy Storm, I want to keep it 1 for fucking ever. Okay,
Yes, I
but
agree.
a thought that came across my mind is that all of our like archetype specific searchers are at 2, except our most generic searcher, Rhoda. And I will admit that Rhoda at 1 is really healthy, but I would rue the day that it happened, but I could see Rhoda going to 2 just because it follows the searchers at 2 principle.
No, it's too generic of a searcher.
I'll grant it is way too generic of a searcher, but right now its only real targets are shit in the E-Heroes and shit in Noble Knights. And believe it or not, Noble
And
Knights
Six
and
Sams.
E-Heroes are side by side right now, so
You're forgetting Six Sams.
actually no. The only thing that Rhoda really would ever search out in Six Sams, they already have an archetype specific searcher for.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
they
it.
have 3 archetype specific searchers for.
And then they
Six.
would have 5. That would be fantastic.
Well, admittedly, I did not consider Six Sams, but other than the super swarm that Six Sams have, I don't really have a problem dealing with them usually.
I'm just not a big fan of searchers,
Mm.
but that's just me. I tend to not like the effect they have in the game.
Okay, and the other thing that I've been oh, that's speaking of searchers, that's a card that we really should discuss too. But one of the custom things that I want to do is put Megalo Abyss to 2.
Don't mind it, but
I
I can't
really
really have an
don't
effect.
like how powerful Megalo Abyss is, especially with Sphere. If Megalo Abyss and Abyss Sphere stay at 3 on this next list, since we know windups are definitely going to get hit because they've been powerful for way too damn long, I really think that the next 6 months will be Mermail dominated because, oh god. Sphere is busted, Megalo Abyss triggers off way too much shit, and the card that really needs to go to 1 this list, above pretty much anything else, is Atlantean Dragoons. If Atlantean Dragoons does not get a preemptive hit, Mermails will win even with Megalo and Sphere going to 2. Dragoons is just way too damn powerful.
I agree mermaids need to get hit if they're going to smash wind up so freaking hard. However, they're not going to hit them that hard because it's not that old of a deck.
Right. Most of the really broken shit just came out. So I could with Poseidon's structure deck still, on shelves, I don't see them hitting dragoons, but oh god, they better hit dragoons. Oh.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there.
All right. What about you, Joe? Any particular custom things that you want on the list?
I'd like to see Call go back to 1 or 2.
Really? Any reason why?
Just because it's a free special.
True, it is a free special, and depending on what you grab, it's a plus.
And we could have this debate forever and ever and ever and ever, and I will have it with everybody, but it's very important to me. I think mind control needs to be banned.
And you think brain control should be brought back to one in its place?
Not necessarily. I've thought about it, and I want mind control banned more than I want brain going to one.
All right. Mind control is ridiculously powerful, and yet I still think that I prefer creature swap over it.
Creature swap isn't bad. I'll give you that.
Hmm. Let me think. Is there anything really else that? Mm, what about Necroface?
What are we thinking? Up or down?
Personally, I'm okay with what Necroface is at currently, but I
Me
could
too.
easily see it go. I could easily see it going either up or down.
Necroface is an
Let
weird
me put it
effect.
this way: if Necroface goes up, they're an automatic counter to both Fire Fists and Mermails. And even though we haven't talked about Fire Fists because I keep forgetting that Tenkei is a thing, they're going to be pretty powerful this next list.
Well, that's a tough call. Necroface. RFP is such an annoying deck to have to deal with.
True.
It's I just and yet it's so freaking inconsistent.
Well, General RFP is, but Chaos isn't.
Chaos RFP isn't, but general is. That's what I was thinking.
Well, all right then. This has been Gerdat and Joe talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh predictions of Banlist coming in 2 weeks.
And other
One thing that we
miscellaneous.
didn't actually get onto is DMOC because, as we all agree, DMOC should stay the fuck away.
DMAC?
Yes, Dark Magician of Chaos, Jonah.
Yes. It should stay away. That's retarded that anybody wants that to come back.
All right, and I am your host, Gerdat14, and
My name's Joe, and I am somewhat tired, so I sound slow.
all right then. With that, be safe, guys, and I hope you have a good evening, day, or whenever the hell you're listening to this.
Yep.
Be safe.
Yep.